Hello guys, how are you? Uh, Today I'm going to do a tutorial on Gimp. It's the Gnu Image Manipulation Program. Just basic stuff so you can get started and go into this new area of image editing and photo editing. Gimp is the similar of other operational systems and other photo images like Photoshop, for example. It has a lot of options, and it's a very complete program. It has filters. Well, a tutorial that covers everything would be too big to a single video, but maybe we can cover another things in a part 2 if you like the first one. So without further ado, I hope this video will be short and to the point so you can really get started. The first thing is to create a new image. File, new, and you have templates here. For example, let's say A4, 300 points per inch, and I like landscape. You also have advanced options if you want to change the dots per inch. This little guy here you will see in a lot of dialogues. If you move both X resolution and Y resolution moves together, but if you click here and break the chain, then you can move just one. So let's keep it 300 anyway, and you can put a comment, the color space. Okay, so basic stuff. Let's say first thing, to move around. If you click the middle button in the canvas, you can just drag it. Control mouse screw, you can zoom in and zoom out. Also, if you notice, the mouse cursor changed from that little pencil when I type control, to a kind of bubble maker. That's to change colors. It's the same of this one here. It's the color picker tool. When you hover your mouse over every icon of this one, you can see the names. So this is the healing tool, this is the clone tool, ink tool. Let's start with the pencil itself. So the paintbrush tool, or you can use the letter P to select it. Here is the background color and the foreground color, so we better have one black and one white. Without the color we can't draw. So the paintbrush will do just fine here. Welcome to Gimp tutorial basic, or let's say part 1. This here I was just testing, so I want to delete it. So let's try the second item. This is the eraser tool. So if you hover it, it will tell you that Shift E brings it for you. You can erase by hand. Of course, this is going to be too painful, so you can change the size of the paintbrush. Here is the kinds of paintbrush you can use. You can use a bar, a block, a hard circle, a blur circle, I like this one better, but it depends. And the size, you can change the size here, so it will be easier to delete all this stuff. Also, if you change here, this is the opacity, then you can kind of give it shadows. It does not delete everything, but it gives it shadows. Yeah. Let's see the zoom tool. This here is the zoom tool. You access it by clicking here or just typing Z, and if you just click the image, you will see the zoom is going up, and you can also click the control key, and you see it changes a plus sign to a minus sign. So when you click the canvas with a plus, it will go it will zoom in, and if you click with control, it will zoom out. So let's zoom in here. This is a problem. Let's change this to a better handwriting. So let's use the eraser and delete this with full opacity. Yeah, now I can use the pencil, and the pencil you also have opacity. Let's change the color to show that this was a mistake. Too big of a paintbrush, change it to a little smaller, and this is opacity 65, but if we put 100, it will just fill everything. Okay, so I will drag with the middle button, and let's try another tool here, the color picker. I can change the color. You see it changes here. Whatever I click, it changes to that color. Of course, I can also click here and choose a completely new color using RGB or HSV, these mappings, or even HTML notation. And I also have this tool here, the color picker here. I can pick color even from the window. Can you believe that? Like the toolbar here, any part of the screen you want, you can click. Like outside, we have the Google Chrome here, a little yellow. Yeah, okay. So let's try now the pen, another basic stuff. Pen is very similar to pencil. Oh, I'm using it wrong. This is the pen, and there is no pencil. There is a pencil. It's called ink. This is the paintbrush. The pen is just a little bit harder, so let's put a little darker. Yeah, you can move here also. Yeah, so you see the difference. You can zoom in and see that pen will give you pixelated corners and borders, and while the paintbrush will give you a smooth area. But you have also this little guy here. It's called the dodge or burn tool. It's fun because if you burn the image, oh, sorry about that, I clicked the zoom. Too much zoom. If you type the burn tool and burn the I'm in dodge. Yeah. Okay, let's move to here, and you can select here dodge or burn. So let's select the burn, but before that, Ctrl Z to undo. Now I am using burn, and I can burn the corners and the edges. It will make the image a little bit harder, you can see, and obscure. And if I use dodge, it will do the opposite. This is the blur tool. This is the blur tool. This is the smudge tool. It it defects the image. It changes a little bit. Like you can push the image like this. You see, it changes and it mixes colors. Now I think it will be better to see the Dutch and the burn. Let's go back to the Dutch and burn. Yeah, okay. So you see it's a little bit darker, and dodge you can almost delete things, not really deleting, but yeah. And okay, moving to this one. This is very useful, the clone tool. If you are in a textured area and you want to clone things, so let's clone it. Let's clone the whole world. Yeah. So what do? You pick a size and you click somewhere, like a control click here in the middle, like in the middle of this curve. So it will be marked there. When I start moving around, it will copy from there to wherever I move. Yeah. So this is very useful to fill areas where there are like a pattern. You can copy patterns. I will show you a pattern. I don't want to extend this video too much, so let's go fast to the basics. Another basic very important tool is the select tool. Today we will see just the rectangular select tool. You can just make a rectangular. If you hover over it, it's the shortcut R. After you select what you want, you can press, for example, Ctrl C and Ctrl V and move around, and you have another copy. The cursor now has an anchor. You can click it to enter this layer. The layer is here. I'm not covering the layers today, but you can just anchor the layer into the background, or you can create a new layer. And let's just merge them together, merge down, or just anchor. It will do that automatically. This is the move tool. You can move the whole image, or you can move selections, for example that Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and it becomes a move tool automatically. But if it is not, you can change here to become a select tool, a move tool again, and anchor. Oops. Yeah. What else? Selections, vector, color picker, zoom, measure. You can measure distances from here to here. It will give you in your preference the unit, for example in pixels, and there is an angle also. If you want really much to draw in a precision type of way, you can click in the ruler and bring it back to whatever you want, and here for example, and you can have guidelines. And then I, for example, can paint, like I can select this area. If there is a selected area and I click the paintbrush, let's pick a color. If I move around, it will paint only the selected area, even if I spills ink outside of it. So it's a good tool to prevent you to move around or paint where you don't want to. What else? I think we are going to the last part. Yeah, and this will be this a bucket tool that fills everything. So let's fill an area. I will select an area. First let's move these guidelines outside. I don't want guidelines anymore. You can just move them outside. So this selected area I want to fill with a pattern, so I can choose here similar colors, fill whole selection, and a pattern fill. What pattern I would like to fill, to use this bubble here. So I just click here and let's zoom in. So you can see it's very nice. And you can for example, suppose you had this is the text tool. You click in the ladder and you start typing. Text tool, you change the color here, yeah, and the size. So there you go, you have a layer of text. You can let this layer there. If you click the move tool, you can move this layer around. You can pick the layer by selecting it, or the active layer, so you can click in anywhere. But suppose, let's merge this layer, and suppose we want to delete, merge down, so we don't have the text anymore because it's merged as an image. Suppose I want to delete this text and I don't have the layer. So what can we do? If I choose the eraser tool, I would never be able to delete it correctly, even if I pick the color of the pattern, because you know it's just here it has an alpha channel, so it will be transparent, but I can remove the transparency here, remove alpha channel. Now it will just use the background color. Ctrl Z to undo, and if I click this arrow here, I change the background color with the foreground, and now if I try to use the eraser, it will not be pretty. So how can we reestablish everything? Of course I could use the bucket again and fill this area, but suppose I don't have the pattern here installed, so I use the clone tool. I select an area where I will clone with Ctrl click, and then I use to clone. See how perfect it is. So that's it. The funny thing is that if you, for example, have a little defective here, let's say I have a little defective here, let's not this color, yeah, this color here, but I have a little defect, like I have these three small guys here, and I have a text that I want to delete. So if I use the clone tool, select somewhere here and start painting, you see that these little guys here are appearing. You can see here they appeared here, can't you? Yeah, it clones everything. But then you can use the healing tool. Healing tool, it's like the cloning tool. You control click somewhere and then you just try to heal everything. It is a smart clone. It will change some bits in a way that it's near the other bits around. So I think that's it for today. I guess I covered most of the basic tools. You have the menus to learn yet. Canvas size, layer size, colors, filters, transformation tools, like you want to rotate. And so you have a lot of things to learn from here. So that's it. Thank you guys. I hope this video was enjoyable and that you learned something, and give it a try. Also, where to get Gimp. If you Google Gimp downloads, or for Windows or for Linux, anything, you will get the same page. That is www.gimp.org /downloads, and this is the current stable version. So yeah, you can download here for Linux, OS X, Windows, or everything. So I hope you enjoy. It's a free tool made from our Linux community, and people have volunteered to make it a better software, and it's free. And well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching, and see you later. Yeah, control